Hey there, yoga fans. The daily dose number 10. Today we're going to be working an inversion. Specifically, we're going to be working the supported headstand, working toward a 10-minute headstand sequence, something that we can all aspire toward. It's an excellent buku benefits in the practice of being inverted, feet above the heart above the head. Great for the immune system, great for clarity, just a great boost of energy. However, we don't have to necessarily be in a headstand if we've got a tender neck. There are many other things we can do to get the same or similar benefits of inversion by going to the wall, doing the feet up the wall pose, doing Salambasargasana, the supported shoulder stand, either in the room or against the wall. I'll do another video on that sometime soon. But for today, we're going to talk specifically about the headstand. Salambasargasana is the king of all asana, according to BKS Iyengar. If you could only do one asana for the rest of your life, this may be the one. But you want to take care of the body. It's not just jumping into a headstand with a stiff neck. You don't necessarily want to stretch it out. We wouldn't want to do plow pose or a shoulder stand and then do the headstand. It's always the headstand first and then doing these things to stretch out afterwards. But we do want to warm ourselves up. When we're inverted, we're trying to stack ourselves up the same we do as we stand. So we're going to start standing. This time, go ahead and bring the feet together, just in a gentle Tadasana type stance. Tucking the tailbone slightly, and then taking the arms out wide and up. This is Urdhva Hastasana, the hands up pose. And just standing here, go ahead and close the eyes and breathe deeply for several breaths. Feeling tall on the breath in and relaxing the shoulders down the back on the breath out. Seeing if we can find that sense of stability, just standing. So we find our center of gravity. Maybe shifting forward a little on the toes. Relaxing down onto the heels just a little bit. Just feeling it out. Notice how we're not perfectly rigid. We don't stay perfectly still when we're just standing. Even with our eyes closed, we're wobbling just a little. Even with the eyes open, we're not perfectly steady. The body is automatically working, kind of intrinsically working to find that stability. It's the same thing when we're upside down. When we're in an inversion, the body's going to move. It's a fluid state. And what tends to happen when we're getting accustomed to it is, we want to get tensed up or fall out and get scared just a little bit. And so here with the hands up, we're warming up the shoulders just a little bit. Take a nice breath, reach big. And then as you exhale, go ahead and come into that forward fold. Just hang heavy here. Bending the knees, pedaling them out in an Uttanasana. Here we're just kind of rolling the neck out a little bit, letting some blood pool. Getting a little circulation to the brain. Because we are going to be upside down. We're starting to get that heart above the head here in our Uttanasana. You can feel the circulation in the shoulders, kind of rolling it out just a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and take a downward facing dog. So go ahead and separate the hands and gently walk the feet back. About hip distance. Go ahead and just take a nice big down dog, making sure to root through the base of the palms, rolling out to the fingertips, inhaling to extend through the armpits long, tilting the tailbone toward the sky. And as you exhale, soften the neck a little bit. Soften the shoulders, kind of wrapping the armpits under. Just enjoy the down dog. Down dog is an inversion, Adho Mukha Svanasana. We do have the heart above the head here too, so we're still maintaining that minor inversion, getting the body ready to go upside down. A few breaths here in the down dog. We're going to go ahead and inhale, shifting forward into a plank. And go ahead and level yourself out here. Come into a nice plank. We want the heels, the hips, and the shoulders, the head in alignment in our Palakasana. And feel this. Soften in the shoulders a little bit. And as you inhale, extend. Extending through the shoulders. When we're in the inversion, when we're upside down and supported headstand, we do want to extend the shoulders. When we do that action in the headstand, we help drive the elbows into the ground. I'm going to go ahead and drop the knees down, come on down to the elbows, and see about lining the elbows up underneath the shoulders, interlacing the fingers. Here, take a nice breath, come on into that low plank, and be here. Really seeing if you can get that sensation of pushing the elbows into the floor. That's what helps protect the neck. Keeps the neck nice and safe. And we'll be here. If we find that the elbows start to fall apart or roll apart, sometimes the mat's slick or the floor is slick, what we can do when we're going into our inversion, go ahead and come on down. Taking A strap. It's a great prop. We can go to the wall if we're not comfortable in the middle of the room. We can have a strap at the wall in the middle of the room. We take that strap so the arms are just a little bit narrower than the body here. And what that does is it helps us kind of have something to push against. It keeps the elbows from splaying out. If you can imagine making a triangle, if our elbows start to splay out, we get kind of narrow at our base and we can get wobbly front to back. So again, safety is the most important thing. Being able to have that stable foundation. We got our strap here, just kind of walking through the steps of setting ourselves up. I like to kind of feel the skin on the elbow and then kind of roll that skin away. Interlace the fingers nice and snug. And then when we place our head in the headstand, we're looking for the top of the head, or just a little bit in front of the top of the head, kind of between the hairline on the top of the head. Everybody's head shape's a little bit different. You got to find that comfortable place, but we just don't want to be too far on the forehead or too far on the back, so we're not putting a lot of pressure on the neck. So we kind of feel it out there. If the strap is there, it's a little bit getting used to it. You can lower it down a little bit or what have you. Find that position where you feel like your head's nestled into the hands, you're on the top of the head, and here, we're against the wall, for example, right? We're here, and we're pushing, we're driving like we're going to lift our head up off the floor. And we feel safe and stable there. We're pushing along the forearms toward the wrist, walking the feet in as much as we can. And then gently kind of hopping. If we're with the wall, we're hopping and reaching back with that top foot, trying to find where's that wall at. We got it. We find that stability. Keep extending the shoulders and then gently taking the feet up. And we can be there just as long as it feels good. We can be putting the feet against the wall, taking one foot at a time away from the wall. If we're playing with Salama Shirshasana for getting started out, getting used to it. So we're here, and then to come down, it's really gently. We can do one foot at a time. We do both feet, just kind of pulling the knees in, slowly coming down, reaching out with that foot, coming out nice and easy. And then it's always nice to take a child's pose here, letting the hands come back. It can even feel good to just real gently roll the neck. Just a couple of breaths to relax the back of the neck. Letting that circulation come in and then letting the blood kind of level out before we come back up. So that is the getting into the headstand with a strap against the wall. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is my own 10-minute headstand sequence. And so I'll start out and I'll be working through some variations. Feel free to work with me against the wall or just practice holding the headstand for a minute at a time. Take one variation on both sides. One leg straight down is Ekapada, Pars Vaikapada. If it goes out to the side, or we can do the splits, we can do Prasarita, we can do all these great stretches upside down. So we're getting the benefits of the inversion and also the benefits of the stretch. So play with it, have fun with it. Listen to your body. Always come down. The shoulders start to feel fatigued or you start to feel like you're putting a lot of pressure on the neck. Just come on out of it. It's okay. We'll go ahead and just take the feet up the wall for a moment and still get that little bit of an inversion. So the 10-minute headstand starts like so. I'm going to go ahead and take my base to get myself set up. Sorry for the backside shot for just a moment. This way I can still see the clock. Taking that moment to come up, and we're there. Feeling it out. Feeling the forearms, keeping the elbows driven into the floor, keeping the core engaged. Just a light engagement through the glutes, kind of gently squeezing the legs together. Helps with stability here. Always just being upside down. Great way to refresh perspective. I like to count it in breaths. Maybe 5 or 6 slow, deep breaths in each position takes us to that minute mark. If ever you feel like you need to adjust your neck, sometimes you can press in like you're going to pick your head up and adjust, but safer to just go ahead and come on down. So we're here setting ourselves up. We're at the minute mark. Always reach up with the breath in, and as I exhale, I'm pulling the core in, letting one foot float down. Just as much as it feels good. Ekapada Salama Shirshasana, the one foot. Supported headstand. Breathing. trying to find that balance. We're really refining the headstand. We're playing with it. And we're trying to find that balance. One day, maybe even supporting ourselves just on top of the head. No arms, no shoulders whatsoever. It's a pretty impressive feat. It's something that we may aspire towards, but it's important each and every day to appreciate the body right where it's at. Here for a moment in this eccapada, we're stretching out the hamstrings a little bit. We're squeezing the quads. We're actively engaging, pressing out through the bottom of the feet. Engage the core, and then inhale to bring that foot back up. Take a breath or so. Reset your headstand, your foundation, your base. And as you exhale, slowly letting the right foot come down in this case. Finding that stretch in the hamstring. Feeling stable, feeling steady. And just noticing where the center of gravity is at. If you feel real stable in the headstand, it does feel good to kind of close the eyes and see if you can sense that center and feel it a little more. Keeping the legs active here. Stretching that hamstring out just a little bit. Breathe deep. It's kind of an inverted vinyasa. We move with the breath. As we're ready, we engage the core. We inhale to straighten that leg back up. Take a few breaths here. Find your center, find your stability. And then go ahead and take a Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Here we're just feeling the hips open. We're kind of driving the knees back. Seeing how that feels. Trying to find that center. It's stable. It's comfortable. A little hip opening here in our inversion. Nice deep breaths. Notice how the body gently sways with the movement of the rib cage. It's natural, it's normal. We're not meant to be rigid. We're meant to be fluid and flexible. Inhaling them back up. Nice and straight. I like princess toes. Pull the toes back, push the ball of the feet. There's a gentle internal rotation of the thighs. And then exhaling, turning the toes toward the side and slowly find that side Parsvaikapada, that side extension of one leg. This really working on creating that asymmetrical balance really comes into play when we start playing with the twists here and a couple of sequences. But trying to keep that center, trying to find the balance between the forearms for just a few more breaths. If we start to drive a lot into the elbows, roll that tailbone back just a little bit to even out our tripod. Feeling pretty good. And then bringing it back up on a breath, inhaling. And we're there. Ooh, feel it. It's kind of tricky looking at that video. I got to find my center again. And then gently, toes turning out, nice and slow, feeling it in the hips. We're flexing that quad. We're still pressing up toward the ceiling with the lifted foot. We're pressing out toward the wall, pulling the toes back on that extended leg. Breathe in here. Find the balance. Find the drishti, your gazing point, and breathe. Always coming down, listening to the body if you need to. Taking a few breaths. We got a few more deep breaths here. Keeping the core active and engaged. And then inhale it, slowly bringing it up. Driving through the elbows for stability. Find your center, find your focus, find your balance for a moment. We're getting there. Engaging the core, both feet coming down this time. We're in a Prasarita or Upavishta Konasana. And depending on how you want to look at it, we're upside down with the legs apart. Taking a few breaths. Feeling the hips. Again, if we're starting to put a lot of pressure on those elbows, try to even it out. Roll the pressure back toward the wrists just a little bit. Really starting to get into deep benefits of the inversion. Being upside down. By actively engaging the legs, we're keeping the blood circulating throughout the body, not just letting it pool in the legs. So we're here for another breath or so. We engage the core, then slowly, this is kind of advanced. We want to roll the left thigh, internally rotate to find our twist here. Now we can twist to center and find this variation. This is kind of a Hamunasana in Salamastrasasana. Hard to say all that, kind of a mouthful. And if you got the mobility and the stability, it's kind of the same action through the shoulders, but go ahead and twist it just a little bit more. You're kind of driving into that right side as you twist and reach across the body. Taking a few breaths here. Slowly unwinding. Coming all the way back around. Take a fun moment. Find your stability. And then slowly, as you inhale, we're rotating, we're twisting. The foot that goes back internally rotates the thigh. Helps kind of articulate the hips. We find our Hamunasana on the other side. This is a nice stretch on the psoas. Being here. And maybe we just stay here. I did take the twist on the other side. I'm going to slowly twist into this side. But maybe not as deeply. I'm not feeling it as much on this side. Trying to listen to the body, not forcing it. Finding that stability for a moment. Coming out slow. Opening back up. We're almost there. Inhaling, taking the feet high. Hold. We just moved a lot of the body. Can you find that sense of stability and center once more? Find a little calm, a little serenity in our Salamastrasasana, our supported headstand. Nice and easy. Breathing deep. And then slow. Starting to gently bring the knees in. Feet toward the seat. Feel it for a moment. Don't rush it. Gently bringing it down to the ground. Feels good. Nice 10-minute headstand. Letting the arms come back. Relax the shoulders. Tuck the chin to extend through the top of the head. And be there for a moment. Maybe it feels good. And gently roll the neck. But being really tuned in, really gentle. We just had a lot of pressure on the neck. So we're just decompressing a little bit here. Relax. And go ahead and come on up. Now, as you're ready, we're going to make our way onto our back and take a nice and short and sweet plow pose, a little halasana, just to gently stretch out the neck, lengthen it out here. Again, variations for this would include being close to the wall, feet to the wall, or taking our feet to the couch. Here, our plow pose, engaging the core and the breath out, tucking the tailbone, and kicking those legs up. Tuck the chin, let it be nice and long. Maybe the knees come to the forehead. We want to turn onto the top of the shoulders. We can always support the back here. Halasana, plow pose, a beautiful stretch across the back of the body, stretching out the back of the neck. This itself is a great inversion. We can always be here with our support, pulling the feet in and extending up into our shoulder stand. Salama Sarvangasana, the mother of all asana. And we can play with those same variations, our Ekapada, our one legs, our Parsvaikapada, our out to the side legs, or our splits. We can play with Baddha Konasana. We can do all kinds of things in Salama Sarvangasana in the shoulder stand. We can play with our Nirlamba, with our unsupported. Great compression on the thyroid here. It's a great way to help regulate emotions, emotional state. But for a moment, just hanging out here in our plow pose. We want to come a little bit deeper. We go and drop those knees to the forehead or bring them down by the ears to our Karnipidasana, our squeeze the ear pose. This is a great stretch on the neck, kind of gently squeezing and pulling, very gently rocking. That feels nice. And after a few minutes, maybe 8, 10 deep breaths here, starting to slowly come out of it. Nice and easy. Extending long on a breath in. As you exhale, curl it up, give yourself a little squeeze. And we can rock and roll ourselves back up to our seat. That is really a level 2, level 3 inversion, but a little demonstration of what we can aspire towards in our inversion. And again, to get the benefits of the inversion, we don't have to do a 10-minute headstand. We can stay against the wall. We can come down as frequently as we want, but play with each of those, knowing that in time you can. And it's tremendously beneficial to the body. So if you have any questions, please drop a question in the comment. I'll do my best to answer. And again, it is always a pleasure for me to share my passion for yoga with you. It is always an honor each and every time you join me. So I thank you. I hope that you have a terrific day. Namaste.